then guess what? Your brain doesn't, like I said, the brain doesn't care how big the responsibility or whatever it is you're doing. It gives you the same amount of dopamine and serotonin, a kick. And so if you make your bed, now you feel better about yourself. Yeah? And you need to be. And not because you're just trying to make up feeling better. You got, okay, I accomplished the goal today. I accomplished the task. Mm-hmm. And then, like Kramer said, then when you come back at night, and your bed's made. And there's and the other thing in a bigger sense is, it's chaos and order. God is a God of order, not chaos. So from the very beginning, he created out of chaos, he created order, light, justice, these kind of things. In our lives, to the degree that you live in chaos, will be the degree that you will live in frustration and anxiety and, irritation and on and on and on. So start with something that you can control and you can do, and discipline, we're going to talk about this, and discipline yourself to every day, so say, make your bed, and see what happens. Try, I'm a science guy, so experiment with yourself. Do it for a week, and see if it makes a difference or not. Let's see, we've got Nathaniel first.
Yeah, in the military, making your bed is also very important because the mundane and everyday repeatable thing is very easily translated to cleaning your weapon, so that it won't fail on you in combat.
Yeah. So I'm saying, start small. Okay. Start with what's manageable that you can do. Astrid.
Yes, I'm kind of utgiver min bror, deliver my brother on this, but is that right? Yeah. No, it's, yeah.
No, sorry.
But
come on, Marta, translate for me.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so during Christmas, I was like, oh, my brother, you wake up so late, you should wake up a little bit earlier. And because he's just wasting his day when he sleeps in. And it's Christmas, yes, but it's like, you have all these alarms, and you don't have any discipline on that kind of. And then I said, you should try now to wake up on the first alarm, or we kind of agreed on that as a goal for him, and for 2024. And then he has been waking up on his first alarm. And he didn't kind of think how big of a change that would make in his life, but it's like said now, that it's just like waking up at the right time is so cool. Like, it has changed his day so much. Like, he's more energetic, he has more thing left over for people, and it's just so cool. So just the first thing, waking up, making your bed, so cool.
It's a start. It's a place you can start. That's all I'm saying. So, but look for ways that you can embrace and take on more and more and more responsibility. Because again, guess what? As an adult, as a responsible adult, that's what you do. You take on responsibility. Then you take on responsibility for your family. Then you take on responsibility for your children. Then you take on responsibility. So it doesn't go away. And so the sooner you learn to embrace responsibility, take it on voluntarily, and do the best you can with it. Now, again, going back to the ocean thing, the guys who are high in conscientiousness will have an easier time doing this. Because if you're conscientious, you're already kind of focused. Do you make your bed, Joshua? Yeah. Okay. If you're high in conscientiousness, you're going to want, you really love order. You don't like chaos. Now, people who are higher in openness, they can deal a little bit more with chaos, okay? Guys that aren't, chaos drives you nuts. But even if, again, it doesn't matter what your temperament is, the thing is personal discipline, taking responsibility, and start where you can, and make your bed a good place to start, then looking around every day, look for ways to take on appropriate responsibility. And that will mean that you will grow. So stop making excuses, stop blaming others, stop, putting it off, get on with it. To some degree, you are the master of your own destiny. Right? You will be as spiritual as you want to be. You will be as responsible as you want to be. Voluntary, so it's up to you. You decide. No, this is no outside force causing it. No, it's yours. You got to own it. And Jesus, of course, talks about making sure you take care of your own life before you start judging others. The plank in the spike in your eye, and then you're complaining about somebody else. And the fact is that you don't have any right to start, condemning or judging other people when you haven't got your own life in order. So get it going. Embrace responsibility. It will be the seed of you finding meaning in your life. Second one is tell the truth. Okay, so the first one is take responsibility. Number two, tell the truth. Stop lying. You say, well, I'm not lying. Okay, you liar. Just lie about not lying. No. One of the easiest things for us to do is lie. And what happens is that, and I was that was me. I was a committed liar. David wouldn't recognize this, but even in our SOE, David, I was a liar.
Yeah, I figured it
He
was
figured as much. All these years he's done. But for some reason, for me, it was just easier to lie than to tell the truth. I'm very high in openness, so I could, it was just easier for me to make up stories and do stuff than tell the truth. And I didn't pay much attention to it until, conviction of sin, stop lying, and don't exaggerate, don't tell stuff that isn't true, that isn't valid. And so when you lie, let me see, yeah. Okay. What is the truth? Now, first of all, you've got to be careful because we're not quite sure exactly what truth is. Now, on some levels we do, but in a lot of ways we don't. So it's maybe better to say, rather than tell the truth, is to stop lying. Peterson kind of addresses that. Just stop telling things that you know aren't true. Because the nature of truth, and because it's not really definable, we have to come up with kind of what is a working definition. So oftentimes, like in mathematics, when they're trying to figure something out, they don't quite know how to do it, but they say, well, we're going to give a working definition to this, and it'll last until we can find a better definition. So I've come up with this. So this is not, by any stretch of the imagination, guaranteed, but this is just the best that I've got to work with. So, what is the definition of truth? Is that which emanates from, or comes from, is born out of, or accurately describes reality. So anything that is emanating from, or is used to accurately describe reality, is truth. Now the question comes, what is reality? And at that point, we've got our nose pressed up against the frontier of understanding. There's certain points you can't go beyond. You just, as human beings, that's as far as you can go. And so with regards to reality, it's simply that which is. Okay? That which exists. That which is. So, whatever is used to either comes from or adequately describes that which is, reality, is truth. So, here's the power of truth. When you align yourself with truthfulness, now you're aligning yourself with reality. And when you align yourself with reality, now you've aligned yourself with the power of the cosmos. Okay? That's as good as you can get. If you distort the fabric of reality by lying, by telling the truth, then you have the cosmos against you. You know, I used to think lying was purely a moral thing, and it is at some level. It's the wrong thing to do, you shouldn't tell a lie, and that's understandable. But when you realize that you're distorting the fabric of reality, at some point that fabric of reality snaps back on you. It's like, you know the plastic ruler? Have you ever had, maybe in school you had your little rulers, they were plastic? It's like taking a plastic ruler and putting it on your chin and then pulling it down. And all of a sudden at some point, snap, bam, you know. Okay, that's what happens with truth. You're distorting the fabric of reality, and at some point, bam, it's that truth always comes back to get you. Okay? If you tell lies, you will suffer the consequences. So the best thing to do is don't lie. Tell the truth. Now, the reason we often lie is because we want to make ourselves look better, right? Often we say things that aren't true because we think if we tell people the truth, then they're going to know who I really am and they're not going to like me. Rejection. Or we tell the truth so that we can get away with things, not having to do something or not having to, whatever it is. There's always a million reasons why we can lie. None of them are good reasons. And you don't get away with it. Trust me, you will not get away with lying. So the best thing you can do in terms of preparing yourself for maturity and adulthood is stop lying. Daniel.
From my experience, like, it was really funny when I became a Christian. God really convicted me of my sin when I was always lying. he gave me such a bad conscience that I ended up telling my boss that I lied to her in one little thing. It was so uncomfortable. I never lied again. I was like, I would never want to do that again, so I don't do it. I only remember one more time that I lied, and it was also so uncomfortable because I felt like, okay, you need to tell, just because I lied because I'm
Well, that was the same thing for me, Daniel, is that what really got me stop lying was the fact that every time I lied, I had to go back and make it and tell and say, I lied to you about this, it wasn't that, it was this, will you please forgive me? So after you do that enough times, you think, it's not worth lying. I'm just going to tell the truth. It's too humiliating to have to go back and ask forgiveness. But yes, Madam Psychologist, Aberdeen.
It's just me. But I do think that sometimes the truth is not always good to be told. There is a time. Doesn't mean that you have to lie, but sometimes you don't have to tell the truth.
That's a great question. Yeah, you're so smart. Anyway, that brings up the question, what do you do? Do you always tell all the truth all the time? Now, Peterson's take on this is telling the truth, no matter what the consequences, is always the best thing to do. If it offends people, oh, by the way, the postmodern world, the whole thing about political correctness, right? Political correctness is we don't want to offend people, and so we have to use proper terminology when referring to them, otherwise they are going to be offended. And Jesus offended far more people than he blessed.
Are you sure about that?
What got him crucified? He was an offense to the culture. He was an offense to the religion of the day. Pharisees hated him. His own people tried to throw him off of a cliff.
So the consequence is a blessing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He blessed, but he also offended a lot.
Yep.
A lot. And so, now, a brother